Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing for the July 4th Al-Anon readings, Encouraged to Change, and a Little Time for Myself. For those in the United States, happy Independence Day. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. I will take a moment to look this over. The question is, how can I put myself first today? And the passage talks about a person coming to Al-Anon and thinking that putting themselves first would be selfish. Their sponsor suggested that they put themselves at the top of their to-do list, and this person felt like it was just, they didn't know where to get started, that they were exhausted from helping everyone else. And this person says they sometimes didn't have time to shower because they were so busy taking care of other people. So they say little by little, they started to think about what they needed, and they started their day with prayer and meditation, time to write, and they found that doing those things put a lot more peace in their day. Today's reminder, when we see chaos in our lives, we can stop and think about putting first things first. First things first is a great slogan in Al-Anon. And the quote is from Opening Our Hearts, Transforming Our Losses. We set a new course for our lives when we put our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being as a priority. So how can I put myself first today? Well, today I'm having a rest day. This has been a very, very busy week, a very good week, but a very busy week. Yesterday I took care of my grandchildren, and as I've mentioned before, they live an hour and a half away, so it's 3 hours of travel on that day. I'm usually with them from about 7:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon. So it's a wonderful but long day for me. And today is my rest day. In between, I'm doing the same thing tomorrow because daycare is closed this week. And for those of you who are grandparents and see your grandchildren regularly, I don't have to tell you how magical and wonderful it is. But I probably also don't have to tell you how exhausting it can be. And I'd like to make an observation. And that observation is that when I see all the other grandparents at the park with their grandchild, it's one child. And sometimes there are two grandparents, one little baby, and all is well. Then there's me with my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old grandchildren, and the other grandparents help me out. So it all works out. It's great. We have a wonderful time. Yesterday it was way too hot to go to the park anyway, but I'm optimistic that tomorrow we might actually be able to get to the park, because that is really great for all of us to get some sunshine and fresh air when it's not too hot outside. So how can I put myself first today? Just taking it easy. Um, I had an opportunity to see a cousin of mine and his family, and when I tell you he and his family are among my favorite people in the universe, it's not an exaggeration. He was up visiting um, because his dad, my uncle, was turning 95 this week. And on their way out, they were going to stop and meet up with my dad and my stepmom. Great news. My stepmom is feeling up to like going to a restaurant and meeting, um, for a meal. So, like, amazing. Amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There's nothing I can do about it either way, but she seems to be recovering well. Very grateful. So, in any case, I told my cousin that I was unable to meet him because I knew that I would be very, very tired today. And I knew that I would have things that I needed to do here so things don't get chaotic. But here's what happened when I went to visit my grandchildren yesterday. Neither one of them were feeling very well. And one of them is just getting over strep, and the other one was tested for strep. It didn't show that she had strep, but she was not feeling well yesterday. She was tired and just don't know if it's just like the beginning of summer or, kind of like school ending and all that, and or if she's really fighting something. So either way, they just, kind of rested, quote unquote, rested. um, but because they weren't feeling well, I don't know if I was exposed to anything. I shouldn't be near my dad and my stepmom. So, just in case, especially my stepmom, who, as you know, is recovering from being in the hospital, 2 different 8-day stays. And so I don't want to be giving her any kind of illness that I may have contracted by being with my grandkids yesterday. Um, so saying no is hard, really hard, especially hard when it's something I really, really, really want to do, but I know that it's not the right thing for me. So that's how I'm putting myself first today, is I'm doing what I need to do to um, stay well. Doing the best I can anyway. I may get sick because I was with my grandkids, but there are just some things, right, that I just, what am I going to do? I will take a moment to look this over. All right, so this passage is about tradition 3, which I will read. The relatives of alcoholics, when gathered together for mutual aid, may call themselves an Al-Anon Family Group, provided that, as a group, they have no other affiliation. The only requirement for membership is that there be a problem of alcoholism in a relative or friend. So this passage reminds us of 2 aspects of Al-Anon. We know that we can go to a meeting anywhere in the world And no Al-Anon group is going to try to sell us a treatment program, a religion, a political platform, or anything. We pretty much know from meeting to meeting what to expect. Second, we know that we meet the sole requirement for membership. We don't have to feel, dress, act, feel, speak, or work in any way to belong. We don't have to believe or not. We are free to be ourselves. I love that. And it says we are who we are. We just show up exactly as we are. Today's reminder, Al-Anon gives us support with no strings attached. And we try to pass it on in the same way. The quote is from Al-Anon's 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, and it's about Tradition 3. How in Al-Anon we keep it simple. We avoid being diverted by our program, and we welcome anyone who is suffering from the effects of another's alcohol addiction. Very nice. And this seems like a good time for me to mention that the thing that brought me to Al-Anon was substance abuse, not alcoholism. I'm just saying that because I think that a lot of people who come to Al-Anon are doing the same thing that I did. And I was sent there by a medical professional. Again, I will say that alcohol is a substance. So any kind of substance abuse is exactly the same as alcoholism. So, and when I say exactly, it's not the best word choice, but you know what I mean. Alcohol is a substance. Substance abuse is the issue that we work on our recovery from in Al-Anon. So if you question whether you belong there or not, please don't, because even if the reason, like me, that got me there wasn't specifically alcoholism, I have an alcoholic, my grandfather was an alcoholic, okay? So there you go. I qualify. But that's not what brought me to Al-Anon. So what I'm trying to say is, if you really want to nitpick, we can all figure out a way that we qualify based on Tradition 3. But the truth is, if you think you belong in Al-Anon, then you belong in Al-Anon, and nobody is going to question you. And if they do, they have no right to, and you can just take what you like and leave the rest. So there. We'll close out with a serenity prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.